Gender is based on chromosomes and science. Sex is based on biology.
And this is where I understand, like, that's what we were taught. But now this is where the language has changed, because this is from this site, okay? Sex and gender can be considered in biological and cultural ways. Biological sex refers to a person's anatomy. Typically, a biological male has a penis, or the XY chromosome that gives them testes. A biological female has a vagina and ovaries, the XX chromosome. And you're absolutely right, within this sex, this biological sex category, label, term, that's where these chromosomes, it all falls under sex, because gender is rooted more in culture and environment. Most cultures have social blah, 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 blah. For example, children may be given certain gender-specific toys. Now, if you go to the LGBTQ website and look up the definitions of non-binary and transgender and gender, you know, it'll say gender is one's sense of self, you know, and then it says within, you know, male or female. But this is where the term non-binary comes out. You know, like if you ask a child, who do you think you are? Like, and I would say that gender being related to the soul is a good analogy or metaphor for us older generations to just be able to upgrade our language to be able to understand the debate that is at hand. Because you hear trans people saying, I'm a trans person, and then they'll say, I'm a transgender person, and then they'll say, I'm a trans woman. I'm specifically trying to debate this adorable person, you know, because...
So, a video that I made a month and a half ago where I say, if you're not transgender, then you're cisgender, and that is okay. It's just gone viral.
And that is wrong, you know, and this is where this trans person, this transgender woman, adorable, is being a hypocritical bigot. If you're not cisgender, then you're transgender. Excuse me, because there are now people who consider themselves agender or pangender, right? So this is where this whole invitation for a debate just deflates and defeats itself. You know, like this is what I've been trying to tell Adorable, who is on TikTok making a living out of doing these types of debates, just debating why people think cis, the word cis is so offensive, and, you know, explaining why that's transphobic or bigoted. You know, I've been following this person. I put out my invitation. I don't know if you've seen the video, but I'm approaching it with the language that they're using, because her language is completely off. You know, she is now, from my understanding, somebody who says, yeah, when I was a 4-year-old, I realized that I was born in the wrong body, but didn't have the language to articulate that, you know. So just the classic, my parents told me, you know, like boys shouldn't be playing with dolls, and, you know, you can't act this way and that way. And she'll even admit, you know, they didn't mean anything by it, and therefore they didn't. But now, you know, in like her late 20s or 30s, this is a voice that she has now stumbled upon that is giving her all this acceptance and love that perhaps she never had when she was him, you know. And this is where, you know, she's got a video saying, ask me about my bottom surgery. And it's just like, okay, well, if you've had bottom surgery...
I would say the male, just because...
Okay, so this is somebody who has had full transition, supposedly, you know. bottom surgery and all this stuff. So technically, this person, even though their sex, their chromosomes may be XY for male, their anatomy no longer resembles their sex. So this is where, and just forgive me, I'm just kind of practicing my argument here, but you know, this person is just perpetuating this reaction we constantly see with just, I keep getting called transphobic or bigoted because I feel there's only male and female, which is absolutely what this person believes because they only see themselves as a trans woman. You know, they acknowledge that they aren't a man, they're a trans woman. So that's within the binary. They may try to say that we're non-binary, but non-binary just essentially means if you tell me or ask me how do I define my sense of self within the binary of male or female, the people who just say I'm more than just a man or a woman, I'm XYZ, you know, like it's that kind of language and mindset that is, in my opinion, considered or defined as non-binary. But non-binary is now being lumped under this umbrella of trans, which is why so many kids who are non-binary, which is perfectly okay, which is, I believe, the goal, you know, like, great. So who are you aside from just being, you know, a boy or a girl? It's like, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a chaplain, I'm a white, you know, it's these types of things. But for somebody to just say, I'm a transgender woman and that's who I am, that's the problem. It's that kind of narcissism where it's just like, that's all you are? It's just a trans, you know, and this is person, what bathroom should they use? You know, it's just like, well, if you've had your bottom surgery and all this stuff, then you should be able to use the women's, you know, the pink one right here, right? But I don't know, if that person walked into my bathroom, I'd just be like, oh, I don't know. You know, like, it's just this weird slope. But to call this person a man is bigoted because technically this person has fully transitioned into woman. But the fact that they keep calling themselves, well, I'm a transgender woman, it's this kind of rhetoric that is confusing this debate, because this person did all this stuff, what? To be able to say I'm a transgender woman or to say I am now a woman. And so this is where the fight within the community comes in, because there are trans people who have fully transitioned into being aligned, you know, their anatomy aligned with who they think in their head. If they have gender dysphoria, if you have gender dysphoria, it is my assumption or opinion that the first thing you would want to do is, you know, if you're a female or a man, you know, going into womanhood, you would remove the anatomy that makes you see yourself as a man, right? So this is where I diagnose the true illness, is just what are these people in it for? You know, it's like Caitlyn Jenner. Like, I've heard her say, you know, I just look at women and I thought like, oh, how lucky are they that they can just be themselves? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Every day they have to put on makeup and all this fake stuff. Just like, it's that kind of mindset where you're just like, these people are selfish, greedy, and just blind to the harm that they're causing. But this person is doing some good by just kind of explaining this language. But I just truly want to debate her and just show her her errors. But this is where you got to adapt the language. Just gender is just your sense of self. And if you're just automatically any good, it's the soul. Like, if your soul is just, tell me about your soul. Are you going to say, oh, I'm a man, I'm a woman? It's that problem. So just, this person's not wrong. Think of it as the soul now. Everything else you said is all sex. And if somebody says, I'm a transgender woman, then we should ask, then what is your sex currently? Is your anatomy reflective of your gender identity?